So right now we'll be creating for our data modification and the data deletion. So of course, much like what we have here on our ad, we have a link which triggers our form. So we'll be doing the same for update, but on the delete, we'll have it direct deletion for now. I think it's you on your end where you decide to modify if you wanted to or add some confirmation before deletion and so on. Now, here on our files, let's first create a template for our update student. So let me create a new file and then let me save this as update student.html. So typically, add and update has the same content. So I'll be copying this since we needed all the information here. So that's it. But rather than save student, so let's change this. Let's clear this one first and then let's modify that later. Okay. So let me save this one. What's important here is we have created our template. Okay. Now, let's create a view which enables us to navigate to this template. So open our view, create it anywhere. It's something like this. Okay, it's something like this. But the difference here is by doing the same, we're accessing the form directly. Okay, what we wanted, of course, is something specific. Since we wanted to modify a specific data, so it should enable us to modify a specific data as well. Now, let me create our form, our view, I should say. Dev update student form, then our typical request, and then for here, I'll be using an ID as one of our new parameters. So for this parameter, this will be my reference, okay? This will be my reference for I to identify that I came from something, let's say a link, which gives us a specific information about what we wanted to modify. So typically, why am I using ID? Because by default, the model that we created creates its own column or field, which is an auto-incremented ID. Okay, that is by default. So we can use that default auto-incremented value where each column has its own unique ID. Okay, so this is it. Now, template, which is update student, right? That's the name of our template. Okay, update student.html. Then, do we need something from the model? Yes, because we wanted to retrieve something specific. Okay, we wanted to retrieve the information of what we want to modify. Okay, so since we know that we'll only be modifying one, so I'll be naming my variable as student. Then we'll be creating an instance of our student, but more than creating the instance, will be retrieving values. So we'll be doing something like this one. Okay. So models.student.objects, but rather than using all, because all selects everything. So here we'll be selecting, or we'll be using get. Okay, we'll be selecting something specific. So we'll be implementing quarks where ID is equal to ID. Okay. ID, this is it, the value that we have passed. ID will be the reference for our get. So we have specified the student that we wanted to modify. Then we'll get the context, or we'll create a context. The typical that we are passing is the title. So we can name this as update, student form. Then we can pass student, the object that we have created. Okay. Now we'll be returning the render of our request, our template, and our context. Okay. So again, this view allows us to navigate to our template and get some value from our model. Now, since we have this, we need to add a path, okay? So be mindful, we have here an additional ID. So I have here our path. So on the route, since we needed something, okay, we needed additional parameter. So we need to specify that int ID, since it is an integer, slash, then this could be it, but later on the deletion, we need the same ID. Okay, on data deletion, we need the same ID. If we do not add anything on our path, this will be confusing for our program. So I'll be adding another one, let's say update. Okay, then I'll be calling a view. So views dot update student form. Then do not forget the name. Name is equal to, I'll name this one as well as update student form. Okay. So the thing here is, once we call the update student form, we need to pass something that should be an integer. Okay. So how to do that? Let's proceed to index.html. Okay. We will be triggering update student form on our index.html. So here, we want the values to be modified individually. Okay, so I'll be adding here. So I'll include it within the loop because I want it to be individual. Okay, so I'll be adding an anchor. So then for my href, wait, let me have here first the content update. Then for my href, again, do not forget we use this delimiter, the one with the percentages. Then we'll use URL as well. And then we'll trigger update student form. Now, as we have mentioned, we needed to pass something that is an integer. Okay, but again, remember, every object or every row that we have in our model creates a unique ID. So we need to pass that ID. So how to do that? So just provide it here, type the student and then ID. That's it. As simple as that. We can pass now this to our path. Okay. It will be transferred here. And then from here, it will be transferred to our view here. Okay. Now, do not forget to save this one. So let's try that for now. Let's see what's the look and feel of our. If we refresh this one, we have here our button update. And if we click update, we have here 9 update. Okay. So disregard this message. Okay. Disregard this what we're seeing right now because we have here an empty content. That's because of this one. Okay. So disregard that for now. What I wanted you to see is this part. Okay. That means, let me go back. If I click the update of this data, student number is 1, first name is Aaron Paul, and then last name is De La Rosa. Now, if we click update, its ID on my model is 9. 9 is the ID, the auto-incremented ID created by the model itself. Okay. So again, let's fix this one. Let's fix this one. Okay. Now, what we needed to add here is the navigation, something like this one, what we have created on our addStudent.html. But before that, since if we take a look at our update student form, we can get values from our student. Okay. So let's try to have those first. Now on our text fields, we can add values, of course. Then do not forget student number. Well, I'll be doing the same for the first name. And sorry, it's first name. And we'll do the same as well with the last. Okay, then save this one. Now we have here our student. So on this case, I will be adding a hidden input element. So what's the purpose of this hidden input element? So the name will be ID. So I could pass behind the scenes our ID, sorry. Specifically, we'll be passing the specific student ID, okay? That's the purpose of this hidden content. Now, we should see the content, but then again, we are encountering problems on this empty URL, okay? So now let's try to address this. Let's create a view first, okay? A view first on processing our updated content. So def update student, then our request, then for here we will be creating, again, the update student is somewhat similar to this, okay? We create we create an instance of our model, and then we change the values, then we save, then we redirect. But the difference here is if we create our student, we need to be specific. Okay, we need to be specific which one are we modifying. Okay, so how do we do that? How do we create such an instance? So do this by targeting our ID, which should be equal to the hidden value here. So this one. So we need to get this by using get method, since we do not declare any method as well. So I'll be using here request dot get and then ID. Okay. By doing this, means we are targeting a specific student that we wanted to modify. Now we can change everything. So just to reduce the effort of typing, I will be copying these. So we have the same. Now what we needed is to create a path or a URL for this view, so we can access this to our template. Okay. So I'll be adding one here, something like this. So I think I'll duplicate this one. Then rather than save student, of course, we'll be using update student. Okay. Save. Let's just add a comma here so it will be recognized. Now we need this update student on our form. Okay, we'll be calling it here update student. So we will not encounter that empty string issue earlier. Okay, let's click update. So here, as you can see, we have here the value 1, first name, and then the last name. We should see the same to the rest. So now let's try to update. Let's see if it's working. Let me just remove my name, my Aaron. Let's keep all. Save record. As you can see, it's already modified. So we can do the same as well to others. Let's say, let's change this one in something in the middle, so we can see that it's really working. So update, let's remove Christian. So Paul Briones, save. You have your Paul Briones. So that's it for our data modification. Now let me just continue on our data deletion. Okay. So data deletion, I'll add here another link for delete. So let's do that. Okay, but before that, of course, before we address this one, we need to create a link. Okay, we need to create a link. So again, the start of creation of our link should start from the view. Then from the view, we go to the URLs and then we modify our template. Okay, so def delete student. On this example, we'll be having the direct deletion. Okay, so request, and then I'll be using an ID specifically. I'll be using the same approach as this one, but we do not have a template. So combination of the approach of this and then the approach of this. Okay. So since I have an ID here, so I could use student equal to models dot student, our class, then targeting a specific ID. Now, delete is one of the simplest. So just simply call student dot delete. Okay, you just need to target which data you wanted to delete, then you're good. Okay, then we'll be redirecting as well to index. Okay, now we need to create a link to this one. Make sure that we are passing a value. So same idea of this. Okay. Okay, so let's create a new path. Having the same idea, passing an integer, which is the ID, slash delete. Okay, this is what I am pertaining earlier. That's why we added update here and then delete here. So there will be no confusions on the numbers that we have here. Now we have the views, and then let us call delete student. Now we need, of course, to provide the name for us to be able to access this somewhere. So I'll call this delete student. Now we'll be using this name on the delete. Save this one, proceed to the index, and then let's add a new link. Now, rather than update student form, we'll be having delete student. Now let's save this, and then this should work. Let's refresh now. Oh, sorry, I forgot to change the text to delete. Okay, so now we have here the delete. Let's start to delete the last part. As you can see, it's deleted. Let's start to delete the first one to see if it's working, not just on the last part. So delete, it's also working. So delete, anything in the middle is also deleting. Okay, so that's it. That's how we do data modification and data deletion.